Hey guys, it's Alastair from Trail and Kale, and today I'm reviewing the Merrell MTL Skyfire 2. And that's these trail running shoes here. I'm just a regular guy who absolutely loves running and reviewing the latest running shoes and gear. My 5K PR is 20 minutes, which I'm always trying to beat. I've run countless ultra marathons around the world, and my favorite distance is the cheeky half marathon. Road or trail, I love running on them both. I'm not afraid to let you know when a running shoe is crap, but also you're definitely gonna know when one blows me away. Either way, our independent running shoe reviews are always 100% honest, reliable, and hopefully you'll come away from this video having learned something new. So, as you can see, totally badass looking trail running shoes, but who are they designed for? And what are they best at? Well, I'm definitely going to determine what they're best at throughout this review and whether they're worth that $200 price tag. But who are they designed for? The first thing you need to be aware of is they are super minimal trail running shoes. What does that mean? Well, it means they got a low stack height and they're super lightweight. So that means they are primarily designed for moving through the mountains extremely fast. That includes climbing and steep descents and also flat sections, because these shoes do have a plate in them, not a carbon fiber plate, but a plate all the same. They also have exceptional grip on the outsole using Vibram Megagrip with 5mm lugs that are super aggressive. And by the way, even if they're not for you, just watch it, because these are super special trail running shoes that you should really know about if you're into trail running. Let's start by going over some of the key features of Merrell's fastest and lightest elite trail running shoe yet. Starting with price then, they cost $200. I will let you know by the end of this review if I believe they're worth that price tag. How do they fit and feel? Well, they are true to size in length and they've got a medium width. The upper is using a breathable TPU engineered mesh. That's this mesh here. It's super durable, very flexible, and also very breathable so far. It's a hot day in California, so I'm able to test the breathability and how your feet regulate temperature in hot conditions like today. So far so good. The upper also has a nice elasticated loop for stowing your laces. That keeps the laces out of the way if you are racing, and then they won't come undone. That's this little section here. Unusual to have it at a diagonal. Not seen that before in a trail running shoe. Kind of like how it looks though, and it works really well too. The tongue is super minimal. There's a hole here, which is really nice. You can kind of pull on the tongue, tighten it up. And there is a little loop in the tongue, which helps keep it in place. Like I said before, this is a super minimal trail running shoe, so don't expect a huge amount of padding in your upper, because you're not going to get it with these shoes. These are for moving through mountains exceptionally fast, and with that, performance is very much front of mind for the Merrell test lab in these shoes. But that's not to say they're not comfortable. The midsole then is using a two-part dual density FloatPro foam. What the heck does that mean? Well, very simple. It's 2 layers of foam with that lightweight flex plate sandwiched between the two. So you can't actually see the plate on the shoes. Well, you can, because this reinforced section at the rear supports the heel counter, but actually this is the flex plate. So that continues through to the midsole. I guess this black line is a depiction, it's not actually the plate, but it moves through here and you see the 2 pieces of foam sandwiched, sandwiching it either side. That plate gives these shoes torsional rigidity and extremely good energy return with excellent forefoot stability. So you'll notice that plate really helping you get up hills, helping you climb fast, but also letting your legs open up and getting a really nice fast cadence whilst extending your stride on flat sections. And I haven't even mentioned the downhills yet. I've got a lot more to come, so I'm going to keep that in my back pocket, because these are going to be super exciting to talk about when it comes to downhill running. I mentioned this before, the outsole is using Vibram Megagrip with 5mm lugs. This outsole is best in class. If you haven't read our article all about Vibram Megagrip and how it's taking over your trail running shoes outsoles, definitely go read that. It's very interesting, informative, and you'll come away from it being a total outsole expert. You can see the super aggressive sharp 5mm chevron lugs. These are just absolutely exceptional on the climb, and I know they're going to be great on a downhill too, because I run in tons and tons of trail running shoes that use Vibram Megagrip. so I know a thing or two about traction. And they have a 6mm drop from heel to toe. That's 25mm off the ground at the heel and 19mm off the ground at the toe. This low stack height gives a really nice feeling of control and adaptability on the trails. I feel like I can react to the trails already, and I'm only about a quarter of the way through my run. So I will update you throughout this run. You're going to see me running over all types of terrain, rocky terrain, dusty trails like this with loose dirt, which are perfect if you like slipping over. They have a neutral support, so no additional support if you do have pronation issues. But actually these are proving to be very stable anyway because of that plate and a modest footprint. And they weigh an incredible 7 ounces for a size US men's 9. That's my pair. Now I recently reviewed the MTL Long Sky 2 Matrix, also a very similar lightweight shoe, and that actually weighed 8.9 ounces, which was already lightweight, so this is incredible. It is Merrell's lightest elite trail running shoe yet, and you can feel it on the climbs. It's like not having nothing on your feet. It's brilliant. Absolutely exceptional experience for anyone who wants to move through ascents and descents very quickly and to be able to feel like you're a part of a trail. That said, if you are someone who needs a bit more cushioning and protection underfoot, then these probably aren't going to be for you. But I will offer some alternatives for you guys, which probably sit in a similar class, not as responsive, but certainly more cushioned at the end of this review. Congratulations, you made it to my performance review. I'm going to start by talking about how the Skyfire 2 climbs, because that's really a huge part of this shoe. I think it's a huge part of the design that the design team has thought about and put into this shoe. They're incredibly good. In fact, I'm going to say they're insanely good. Probably one of the best climbers I've actually tested. And that's for a few reasons. Number one, they are just insanely lightweight. Number two, they're incredibly breathable. That upper is perfect for regulating temperature within the shoe. When you're climbing fast, up steep inclines, your feet are going to get hot and you're going to know about it unless that upper is breathable. The Skyfire 2 passes there. Number three, well, that Vibram Megagrip outsole with 5mm lugs is so aggressive that it just claws into the trail. There's no slippage whatsoever, and I'm able to very efficiently climb up the hill. Number four, that flex plate that's in the midsole. It just really helps with energy return as you're climbing. It kind of gives a little bit back from your stride. Carbon fiber plates don't do this quite as well because they're stiffer. And I find I'm actually just fighting that plate trying to get up the hill, and it's making me do more work, which is unfortunate. And then the fifth thing is the toe box is actually got a little bit of room in there to allow my toes to kind of splay out as I'm pushing off and climbing. And then the dual density FloatPro midsole, while it's very responsive and not plush at all, there's not a huge amount of cushioning, so not much energy is lost when you're climbing. So 6 reasons, I guess, why this shoe is so good at climbing. For a few of those reasons, that plate and the midsole, it's also very quick on flat sections as well. You would have seen me show some clips earlier and I was absolutely flying in these shoes. Feel really good, of course, very minimal, but my feet are protected from sharp rocks, and that's due to that flex plate within the midsole. So I love the fact that's kind of a two-parter. There's 2 reasons that plate is actually good. Gives you more energy return and it protects your feet from sharp rocks on the trails. So certainly pros and cons to having a low stack height and a highly responsive midsole as opposed to a higher stack height which has more cushioning and protection. I want to know your thoughts and also your experience. What type of midsole do you prefer and why? Let me know in the comments. Are these shoes going to be good for long distance ultra running? Or are they better for shorter distance, high paced racing? Well, you know, that very much depends on the runner. If you're used to a firm ride and very responsive midsole, and you don't mind missing the extra cushioning of a thicker stack maybe, then yes, you can run ultras in these. But I think most people are going to prefer something with a thicker stack, just a bit more cushioning underfoot. Because if you're going to be out there for at least 5 hours, then I think you're going to benefit more than having more cushioning and comfort than having a highly responsive shoe. Unless you're an elite and you're going to finish that race faster, for example. So yes, you could run ultramarathons in these shoes, but I'll provide you with an alternative that I think is better if you're one of the people who wants a little bit more cushioning in your shoes. So yes, that makes them exceptional for shorter races, probably of up to 30 kilometers. I'd say they're going to be best for half marathon trail races. If you have very specific needs for your trail running, you want to know if these are going to be any good for you, just let me know in the comments. Let me know your conditions, what sort of trails you like to run or what race you've got coming up. And I'll let you know if these are going to work for you, and I'll even offer you an alternative that might be better. How do they perform on the downhills then? Well, I've had plenty of opportunity now to test them out. Got some pretty technical downhills here. I showed this in a previous video, but yeah, I just want to show you again. It's this kind of rock, my fist here. It's that kind of rock that's just perfect for rolling an ankle. So this is a really good trail right here because it's steep downhill, but also the terrain is very high frequency, so I'm able to test if a shoe is stable. Long story short, the Skyfire 2 is a very stable shoe. I put that down to the plate inside it, but also it's one of those minimal all-mountain shoes that doesn't have a really narrow outsole, and that just leads to instability. If you've got any kind of pronation issues, a narrow outsole is going to be horrible for you. So very stable, but I am feeling that kind of very firm midsole because I am running on a lot of hard rock surfaces. If you are a runner who is surrounded by soft trails, which includes, you know, muddy terrain, forest trails, grass, that kind of stuff, then you won't notice it so much. And these will feel just super responsive and very comfortable underfoot. But if you run in lots of rocky, buff, hard terrain scenarios like I'm doing here in Northern California right now, then you'll notice that firmness, and I prefer the MTL Long Sky 2 for that. It just felt a little bit more cushioned in the midsole, and it really doesn't feel like you're giving up a huge amount of performance. Yes, that shoe is a little bit heavier, but it's still bloody lightweight. If you've made it this far in my review, then you're going to know already if this shoe is going to be for you. I'm just going to give you some best alternatives right now, just in case you're looking for a similar all-mountain shoe that's high performance, but has different properties like a more cushioned midsole, for example. So I'm going to start with the Hoka Speedgoat 6. That is a lot more cushioned, it's got a higher stack height, but also performs very well in all mountain terrain, meaning it's highly capable in technical terrains. It is a little bit more of a snug shoe, so you will want to size up a half size for that one. Best alternatives in the same class as this shoe then? Well, you've got the Salomon S-Lab Pulsar 3. By the way, I'm going to be linking up here to the shoes I'm talking about now, and also in the description below. That shoe is very similar. It's got a very responsive ride, got excellent grip, not as good grip as Vibram Megagrip, by the way. The contact grip lugs on that shoe, although very good, just don't perform as well as some other Vibram lugged outsoles that I've run in recently. That shoe's not quite as stable either because it does have a narrower footprint. Then you've got the MTL Long Sky 2, very similar to this shoe. And I think if you were to ask me which one I prefer, I'm going to say a Long Sky 2 Matrix. I just really love that shoe right now. It's a little bit heavier than this one, but I feel like I get a little bit more cushioning in the shoe, and it just suits me better as a runner. I'm not an elite runner, but I love running fast through all terrain, and I love steep climbs, steep descents, so all mountain type of terrain I absolutely love. But I also like having comfort on my run. So if I was going to run a 50k tomorrow, I would go with the Speedcoat 6, for example. If I was to run a half marathon, highly technical, fast trail race, I'm going to go with the MTL Long Sky 2 Matrix. Is the Merrell MTL Skyfire 2 worth that $200 price tag then? Well, for the right person, yes. That's pretty expensive for a trail running shoe, but it is a super high performance race day shoe. It will certainly make you climb quicker because it's super lightweight, very stable. It's got that plate in there, very responsive midsole foam in 2 layers as well. Super breathable, durable upper. It's got everything you want for a high performance climbing shoe. So if you're going to be doing a vertical kilometer, you got one of those races coming up, good luck to you. Then a shoe like this is going to be absolutely perfect for that. All out speed and vertical ascent. That's what this shoe is exceptional at. But also if you've got a super fast half marathon, for example, that's going to be doing a lot of climbing and descending fast, and you need a really high performance shoe to tackle technical terrain, then these shoes are going to be good for you as well. Well, thanks for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like, share it with a friend, and subscribe to our channel for more running shoe reviews just like this one. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.